She been underwater in the Indian Sea. I've been doing it right. Can't forget what you said. When you finish with you, babe, you should come and find me in the Sea of Cortez. The weight of my heart is the weight of the sea.
Of course, some of the boys here watching the game today. There's Todd in a rather natty hoodie, I think. Looks pretty relaxed, doesn't he? Watching the game, his team in control. And they have been in control, haven't they, Rob? Yeah. They bar a couple of little scares from crosses. Norwich have actually played that half pretty well, considering all the problems they've got.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You mean to be 1-0 up is fantastic. You mean, like I say, but they had a little spell in that middle of that half where they created 4 chances. And to be fair, you got to give credit to the goalkeeper. Maybe like Norwich should have scored at least 1, maybe 2 of those 4 chances. But credit to the goalkeeper, he made some good saves. But they got the penalty. You know what I mean? Placheta is showing his pace. Got there just before the keeper. It could have been 50-50 either way.
We're talking one of those ones. Is it one of those ones where actually they've connected together at the same time with the ball, and he gets Placheta and he gets the ball at the same time? Yeah. If it's you as a goalkeeper and your team who concedes that, are you disappointed?
Yeah, I think so. You mean, like I say, it's one of them ones. They say you catch the man as you catch the ball, but I think if VAR was available today, the referees give the penalty. I don't think it would have been overturned because it was sort of like that close. But like I say, Norwich deserved it on that little purple patch he had in terms of offensive play. So going into half-time 1-0 is a massive bonus. They've created those chances, but Coventry have been dangerous on the break, not by passing ball through the middle, but by long passes, really. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was evident in the first 15-20 minutes. You know what I mean, when they got into good positions. But I thought Teti did really well there because he recognised spaces and they were running from his area. So he took the responsibility to stay with those runners and sort of put pressure on them. I mean, maybe should have done better to stop the crosses. But listen, Coventry can be a threat on the break, but I think Norwich have got the better players. Coventry haven't got the quality to create those chances in the final third.
Yeah, they've tried to look at Norwich's weaknesses that they have in the past in terms of the fullbacks that get on high. And if we can speak to Adam Drury now, who we can chat to a little bit about that. Adam, looking from a defensive point of view now, Max Aarons and Sorensen, probably obviously Max likes to get forward a lot more than probably Sorensen does. But is it a case where you're in such control of the game now and the only threat they do look like they have got is a long ball into the wide areas to cross into the box? You know, what are your central defenders and goalkeepers saying to you now, to Max and to Jakob? Are they saying don't go forward so much? You're in complete control of the game. Do they need them to bomb forward and get another one?
No, the way the game is now, I think probably they don't. But it's Max's natural game to go on and join in and get forward. Sorensen not so much on the other side. But with that, I think Coventry is something they've looked at. Teti's done a brilliant job filling in at right back a few times when Norwich have been on the attack, giving the ball away or turned it over, and their midfielders just got into that area. Darbo on the other side has got in a few times. I think that's Coventry's biggest threat, or it's going to be where they're going to get a goal from if they do, is crosses into the box.
Yeah, and you're at the end where most of the action has happened for Coventry on the odd occasion. Do they look lively? Because they look quite lacklustre and almost want to sit back, and clearly probably been happy with the point before they came. But, you know, they try to play themselves in the way. They find themselves 1-0 down now. They've got to try and get forward and get a goal. They can't just sit back and take a 1-0 defeat, can they?
No, watching the game, they were playing 5-2-3 that then became a 5-4-1, and they were sitting back in. But now Norwich have got that goal, they've hopefully got to come out a little bit more, which will open up the space. Because Norwich, when they've played quick, especially in that little spell there in the middle of that half, they got in numerous times.
Yeah, we chat to Darren Huckabee as well at the same time, hopefully. Hucks, can you hear us? If you know, looking from an attacking point of view, from that, as we said before the game, Stiepermann is dropping into that hole almost as a number 10. And, you know, we're seeing Mario making runs into the box. We're seeing Placheta make runs into the box, and also Josh Martin on the other side. But Rob and I were saying, is it a case of, when you look at someone like Timo Pukki's movement, Timo Pukki's quite proactive. He'll move before the ball's played, whereas the others at the moment are just waiting for something to happen. Do they need to be making their runs a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I think so. It was really difficult because, like I said, they're playing 5 at the back and there was no real space to get in between anybody. So we just got to move the ball quicker. That was the difference. First 20 minutes, I thought Coventry probably were the better team. But we had a 5 or 6 minute spell where, like you said, we created 4 good chances and deserved to probably go ahead. So we just got to move the ball quicker and not get sucked into playing slow, because it just gives them a chance to get a 5-4. So we've just got to keep moving the ball. We've got quick players. We've got players that can make things happen. We've just got to carry on.
Could there be an argument for, as we said before, Placheta and Josh Martin almost playing a little bit wider to try and create those spaces? Because when they do come centrally, like you say, as a 5 at the back for Coventry, it's a lot easier to mark, isn't it? A lot easier to make those gaps smaller.
Yeah, it's really weird. Obviously, Darren, you yourself played on the wing. Placheta seems like he don't want to go where he can get the ball and have loads of space and get in 1v1 situations. It's really strange. You know, if it was me or you, we'd be staying wide, getting the ball early and getting in a 1v1 situation. But I think he's got to do a lot more to get himself on the ball, to give himself the best chance of creating chances.
And let's find out from a defender's point of view then, Ads. If you were playing up against someone like Placheta and as a fullback who's got the pace he has got to burn, the last thing you want is him staying wide out up against you, isn't it? You'd be quite happy with him sort of dipping inside like that.
Yeah, you would, because he's going out of the way and other people can take him or the responsibility. I'm surprised they haven't put things down the side of the fullback a few more times so he can open his legs and have a chase, because he's clearly quick, but we've barely seen it. I think he did it twice late on in that half down the right hand side, but he seems to come short. He's almost stood next to Sorensen a lot of the time, so I'd be saying, like Hux just said, hug the touchline, either come and get it feet and turn and face him up, or if not, come short to go long so I can just put it over the top, because they're just sitting in as a back 5.
Is that an experience thing, though, that Adds? The fact that actually, you know, because Max Aarons does like to get forward and Sorensen to a certain extent, and the manager will ask those wide men to come in naturally so those fullbacks can get forward. So are they just doing a job that they've been asked to do rather than, you know, giving Max the space rather than taking the space themselves? Yeah,
definitely. I think you've said it there with Max and the way he plays. When the centre-halves or the midfielders have got the ball, he's high and wide, so there is actually very little room for a wide man. I think on the other side it's a bit different because Sorensen plays a bit deeper. So when he receives the ball, maybe he could open up and give it a bit quicker to the wide man, who then can face people up 1v1, which is what every winger wants.
And Hux, we see Stiepermann is dropping off, like we said, and Mario is almost playing that number 10 role. It's almost a Buendia role, but he's probably the one who's looked at most of a threat running in beyond the back 4 so far.
Yeah, and the problem you've got there is they're not blessed with natural pace, Stiepermann or Vancic. So, like you say, probably try to get Josh Martin on a bit on the ball. I think he's struggled today compared to how he played in the week. So, you know, we might want to freshen it up and get a young centre forward on who's going to run around and cause, you know, older players a problem.
Yeah, you'll know Josh Martin better than anyone. What's kind of his best position, Hux? Is it from wide areas? Does he like to play in that number 10 role? What's his best place? He's
probably like a Todd Cantwell and a Buendia, where he's not blessed with ridiculous pace, but he's tricky, he's got good feet, he gets in behind the lines and he can make things happen. So, you know, probably playing out wide is in his natural position.
Well, guys, thanks for your time, and again, we'll see you after the game. We just talked about a little bit again, and Josh Martin, and is it a case of like Stiepermann today, like Josh Martin, Placheta to a certain extent, Sorensen we know is playing in positions they're not overly comfortable with doing. So as much as it's admirable what they're doing today, they will get opportunities to play in a different system at different times, because, you know, it's just make do at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And listen, you mean, like I say, we've got to be realistic here. You know what I mean? Like I say, Coventry, yeah, I mean, they're trying to hit Norwich with the long ball. You know what I mean? They're trying to exploit the spaces with, especially Max, high up the pitch and whatever. Like, when you talk about Josh wanting to play in him, you can see he's wanting to go in there.
There's not many times in his career that Mario Vrancic would have been asked to run in behind the back 4, is it? Because he's that type of player who's normally the one spraying the balls and picking people out. Whereas today, he's actually 3 or 4 times getting in behind the back 4.
Yeah, no,
is it a case to say, actually, him sit a bit deeper, Stephen drop a bit deeper, that then gives more space up front for Placheta and Josh Martin to run the space?
Exactly. If Vrancic does drop deeper and Stiepermann drops, I mean, what are these going to do? One of these 3 are going to come out, whether it's him, whether it's him in there or whatever. But if one of these, he's going to come across. If he's from here, and what Hux has just said, I want to be a winger, I want to get the ball out there, but because the fullbacks push so high, especially Aarons, Sorensen is doing it, but not maybe as high as. But here, you're running in there, and basically the balls, the longer balls then, for these runners, are going away from the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not straight balls. But going back to what we said at the beginning, we're winning this game 1-0. You know what I mean? If Placheta stays there, Josh Martin stays there, Aarons goes back there. Listen, these two are dominant again. Any ball's coming in the box, they're heading it away and whatever. Like me. We don't need to win this game 2-0, 3-0. We don't need to win this game. Let's win this game 1-0. You know what I mean? Let's get these boys out here, because at the end of the day, if Darbo, and I don't know the left wing back goes, let them do that, because you're still outnumbering them. Let them have a problem here. You know what I mean?
It's almost for Norwich now, then play like a little bit like the away team.
Absolutely.
You can sit back, you're in control of the
100%.
game, and that's not being negative.
Yeah, no.
It's just because you have got the assets to be able to punish them when you need to.
Let's hit Coventry on the counter. You know what I mean? Let's be solid, back 4, back 2, so you've got a solid 6 to say, because Coventry, I don't think Coventry have shown enough.
I mean, we're nitpicking here, really, aren't we?
We
you
are.
know, this is Norwich have played really well to get in the position they're in today.
100%. And like I say, everyone's saying about the injuries and everything like that. Let's win this one game. Let's take it away. Yeah, I mean, another week ago, get some of these other boys back as well. And like Huck said as well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking a Steeperman off, or even pushing him back, taking a Vranich off, and let a young kid go on and run around, because they will tear it. They will just run around, you know what I mean? And like I say, they will just give so much energy up front. Let them do it. It's a free roll, because you've got this solid banks of 4 and a 2 and an even 4 if La Pachetta and Martin drops back as well. It's got to be a disciplined performance, I think, this half. We don't need to go and score 2 and 3 goals.
It's always tempted to try and get.
Yeah,
2,
I
3,
know,
4.
I know. And like you say, when you've got a Josh Martin who wants to be proactive, he wants to show what he can do offensively and whatever. But listen, if he's part of a team that wins 1-0 today, he's going to be thought of not as that offensive, expansive player. Yeah. He played a part in a disciplined performance.
Yeah, but certainly a good 45 for Norwich. And now it's time for our next edition of Teammates with Jakob Sorensen.
Yeah, I think the most skillful in the squad might be Emmy or Toddy. It might be Emmy or Todd as well, I think, yeah.
Close between those two.
Yeah. I think the strongest goes to Grant Hanley.
Do you see him in the gym quite a lot?
Actually, no. He's just massive and hard in the duels. Ziemi from Poland, yeah, definitely. I might say Kenny McLean. I might say Kenny again. He's always talking and making jokes. Don't understand it all with the Scottish accent. I would go for Alex Tete, probably, yeah. I'd say Zimmerman, yeah. Probably Ziemi. He's always doing extra in the gym. I think I go for Ziemi, yeah. Must be Mario. He's always doing his hair.
I'm sure he'll come out of his shell a bit like this man at some point. It looks like he's got that game Twister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to play that a bit later on. Take his top off.
Put it on the floor.
Play a bit of Twister. Watching the game. But his haircut as well, mate. Would you love the locks like that nowadays?
Yeah, I could do if I wanted to. Like, it goes a bit curly when it gets a bit longer.
Seeing you back in the day, mate. You had the slick, dark hair.
The curly perm. That's as far as I went.
Yeah.
He'd be happy. You know what I mean? Like I say, he'd be desperate to be out there, but he's happy that the team that's gone out there have put in a good performance. And like I say, he looks a contented young boy there at the moment, doesn't he?
He does. Very happy. Right, we've got the sticker book is back for Norwich City again this year. It was a massive success last year. I think sold over 9,000 copies. It is available in the Canary shop online, as are the stickers, and of course you can pick them up through the EDP and the Evening News. And there is some vouchers you can redeem from the Evening News and the EDP that you can take into your shops and get your book and your stickers with that as well. So I'm not sure if we're in this one, Rob, but let's have a look on the front. That always throws me a little bit with that round top. Makes it look like it's a Blackburn top. Just pointing out for the EDP for next year.
Great Christmas present.
Yeah. You can have that? You got in your stocking?
Hopefully. My wife's watching.
I've been in the last one, but I'm disappointed I haven't been one of the what's the glossy stickers? What are they called?
You know, the Panini ones.
No, they're like the gloss ones, like the foiled sticker, not like just a normal sticker. I want to be a good one.
Oh, do you?
Like a proper one, yeah.
They went out when I played, mate. They went out when I played. It was the old panini, like young kids are saying, panini. It's a sandwich, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, teams are now back on their way out. I don't expect there to be too many changes for Norwich, if any at all.
No.
As a manager now, like we said before, about trying to blood some of those youngsters, do they get an opportunity today at 1-0? Was it a bit of a case of just see it out? I know Hux has said about perhaps bringing one on for a bit of experience.
He won't bring it on for experience. Yeah, I mean, he'll bring him on to do a job. But I think the manager will be very content with the way it's gone in the moment. They've been a dominant team. Yeah, I mean, and I think if all the players are physically fit enough to complete the game, I fully believe that he won't play none of the young players. There's no need to. You know what I mean? The experience of just being in and around it is good. But like I say, if he needs to get some legs, if the ball's from the back needs to go longer and you need someone to chase it, Stiepermann and Vranic are not going to chase it. You know what I mean? So it might just be putting a youngster on and whatever, like just to show that willingness to chase balls.
What do you think Coventry are going to do? Approach it in the same manner?
I think so, because I think Robbo would. I mean, he had a little game plan to start with, and like I say, the first 20 minutes that worked. You know what I mean? And if Norwich continue to play the same way, he might say, well, listen, let's keep doing it, because if we keep getting in those spaces and Tetty doesn't go with us at one time, that could be the opportunity.
We're into the second half. We'll see you then.
I've been swimming at night. She's been calling to me.